Hey everyone, it's been about 2 months or so since I made my last video. Back then I told myself I would try to make videos more often, but I guess I just haven't, to be honest. Anyway, I my last important video, or I guess the video with the most news, was that I previously got a job and a lot of people congratulated me, and I found that very inspiring and was very grateful and thankful that all these random people who don't even know me congratulated me and wished me the best. And I hope everyone out there is doing their best to achieve whatever goals they want, especially if you're looking for a job right now. I know it can be very difficult. But basically, wanted to give a rundown of what has happened over the last 2 months. I did the training for the job. The training was only for 2 weeks. The job itself was a service desk, like a help desk call center. It supported fast food restaurants, so it was kind of like managers of these fast food places calling in about like their registers, their drive-through monitors, their credit card machines, their kiosk ordering stations, and just basically helping them get those like back up and running. So the training itself, I trained with 9 people total, or I guess there were 8 other new hires, and I was the ninth if you want to count it that way. And all those guys were super cool. We were all very excited to get trained. The trainers were very nice, and everyone was just super helpful. But I feel like the training was just so short, and there's just so much to learn that there was no way we would know everything just based on like 2 weeks of training. And basically, after the 2 weeks of training, which was kind of more like 1 week, because the second week we took calls while the trainers kind of sat behind us or like walked around us and helped us out. So it was more like 1 week of hands off training and then a second week of shadow calls. And then after the 2 weeks was over, we basically were just thrown right into it and had to figure things out. Even though there were people to help us, we would like reach out on, Microsoft Teams and like make posts, and people would help us and all of that. It was pretty stressful, not gonna lie. Um, After a couple more weeks, I was getting used to it, but I just felt very stressed out every day, to be honest. I don't think my shift time helped that much either. Since it's a 24-hour call center, there were a lot of uncommon like work times. And so my shift was like 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's, pretty crazy for some people who've never worked that time before. I actually used to work a shift that started at like 4:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. before, and I thought I could just do it again with this job. And at first I was like it was tough. I was getting used to it after a little while, but just waking up at like 3 a.m. and having to just go straight into calls was really tough for me. Um, the job was partially is a hybrid job, so I only had to go into the office 2 days a week, which was really good, but the office was still a fair commute away. And the fact that, if I commute, I would just have to wake up even earlier to get to the office kind of sucked too. But yeah, I guess all of the calls, waking up early, and just doing all of that, a combination of all of that, uh, just really stressed me out mentally. And I gave it my best shot and I tried to do my best, but I just felt like I was deteriorating on the inside out. I just felt like it was just draining me every day to be honest, I don't even like picking up my own phone or making phone calls. And then I, turn around and get a job where my job is picking up the phone all day, every day. It's kind of ridiculous now that I think about it. But a few people have already left out of like my group of new hires. One guy left because he got a better job offer, which was actually, it's the best situation you can be in. Another coworker left because of some personal issues, and I'm actually the third person to leave because I just didn't want to work here at this place anymore. And I know that's kind of a privileged thing to say, like, oh, you are in such a good situation that you can just leave a job, when a lot of people are struggling to find jobs right now. And don't get me wrong, I've struggled to find a job, and back when I got this job, I was very happy. I was very happy for the opportunity. But I think just the fact that it drained me so much mentally, I had to do something about it. And that something was pretty much just leaving. I'm still, well, I am on the hunt for another job right now. I actually just interviewed for a place the other day, so I'm pretty lucky about that. They're going to bring me back in for another interview next week, and hopefully I pass that one as well. And then if that one goes well, then they will probably have a panel interview with the rest of the team. And if that goes well as well, then hopefully they'll offer me an offer. They'll offer me the position, and then maybe, I'll accept if everything seems good. And this job does seem more in line with what I want to do, which is like IT stuff. The help desk, like people say you have to do help desk to get into IT, and it definitely helps, but I think it was just not aligned with what I wanted because it was supporting fast food restaurants and not really people and their computers and like their email accounts or their phones or something like that. It was more like registers and touchscreen monitors, and even though you can learn a lot from that, and I have learned a lot from that, I just felt like it wasn't gonna be anything I would enjoy down the road. Like, I was taking calls, and what was gonna be the progression of that? I would get cross-trained to take even more calls. I would not get paid more, and I was actually on a contract, and I would need to apply to be a full-time employee after maybe 6 months to a year, and that is if a full-time position even opens up. And then there are even more like asterisks on that as well, because there are multiple people on the team who would apply for the full-time employment, and that wouldn't discourage me from doing it. I would just have to like fight my fellow coworkers for the full-time employment. And not to mention, whatever full-time employment they post up, it would be for whatever time shift they need. So my shift was 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. And even though I kind of wasn't enjoying it after some time, let's say I did enjoy it and I wanted to keep that, if they posted a full-time employment opportunity, they could post anytime they would need. And basically, if you wanted to become a full-time employee, you would just have to change your shift time. So if you were on a shift that you chose originally because it just worked out well for you in your life, you would have to either pass up the opportunity or just go for it and change like everything else about your day. But I'm trying to be positive about things. I am slowly getting back into applying for jobs, even though I was applying for jobs while still working. It's just tough. Life's pretty tough, and I'm just trying to hang in there and be patient with myself and give myself compassion. And even though there's a lot of things that I struggle with, that like small steps are very important. So I don't know who's watching, but thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And hopefully I can make another video soon. Maybe next week. Hopefully I can keep my word. I'll try to keep my word and see how that next interview goes. But yeah, thank you guys for listening.